Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we want to talk about how to save money at Disney. What are the top money saving tips when you are going on a Disney World vacation? Disneyland, not so much. This is more focused on Disney World. I think a lot of these things will still apply to any of the Disney parks, but this is really about Disney World. How do you save money? From a planning perspective, from when you're actually there, when you're visiting the parks, when you're staying at the hotels or staying off-site. This is going to be the episode you're going to want to watch because we've got a lot of money-saving tips. Our first money-saving tip, number one here on the list, is skip the dining plan. I highly recommend skipping the dining plan. It seems like a great idea at first. It seems like you might actually be able to save some money, even when it's the free dining plan. So when you think you're getting the free dining plan, you're like, ooh, that's definitely going to save us some money. But in actuality, the way it works is they offer the free dining plan, and when they do that, they aren't offering a lot of other discounts. So in fact, what it ends up being is really the same kind of money saving that you would get when they're doing discounted hotels. So when they're not doing the free dining plan, they're usually doing discounts in other places, like the hotels will be 30, 40, 50% off the prices for the hotel stays, or they'll be discounted ticket prices. So they'll have all these other discounts in place, and then they just kind of rotate them. So the free dining plan really just ends up replacing other discounts you would have already gotten. So you think you're getting a great deal. And don't get me wrong, you're getting a good deal. If that's the only thing available to you at that point in time when you want to go, sure, get the free dining plan. But you're not really saving money when it comes to that. So in the times where there's not the free dining plan, you're going to want to skip the dining plan because for most people, you are not going to save money. You're going to spend much more money on the dining plan than you would if you just bought your own food and drinks. All right, so let's just go through some of the math really quickly. So for the lowest dining tier package, which is usually the same package you get for the free dining plan, but the lowest dining package is about $162 for a family of 4 per day. So $162 for a family of 4, 2 adults, 2 kids, per day you'd be spending on food. So math that out in your head and say, do you think we spend $162 on food per day? Maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. It depends. But that's the lowest dining package. And that only includes 2 meals per day and 2 snacks per day and then a refillable mug. All the plans have the refillable mug, which is only usable at the hotel. You get a refillable mug that you can basically just use at the hotel over and over again during your stay. You can't use it in the parks, you can't use it in the water parks. It's only for the hotel. Now, seems not like too bad of a deal, but again, that's only for 2 meals. So if you eat 3 meals a day, you still got to pay for that extra meal somewhere, okay? So, and that's the lowest dining. There's the highest dining package goes up to $333 per day. So $333, do you think you spend $333 on your family for food? Most people probably don't. There may be some days where you do spend $300 or $400 for food. But there's also going to be a lot of days where maybe you only spend $50. Yeah. Maybe you only spend $100. Depends. Now that one includes 3 meals. Okay, so that's the 3 meals, and it includes sit down. The lowest dining package is only quick service. So we're talking about places like Pizza Rizzo, right, or Catalina Eddie's. We're not talking about, places like the Crystal Palace or Tusker House. Like we're talking about quick service dining options. When you get into the higher end package, then you're actually getting some table service in there. So I just think you should be careful about when you're thinking about the dining plan. For most people, it's not going to pay off. Now, if you tend to eat large meals frequently throughout the day and drink a decent amount of alcohol, I think the dining plan might actually pay off for you. But there's probably not a ton of people in that category. Yeah. So there you will end up wasting a lot of food, a lot of snack credits, and a lot of drinks. So you're better off skipping the dining plan for most people. Go ahead and math it out on your own. But for most people, when you add it up, $1,500 to $2,500 in food cost for a week vacation, we're talking about, about a 7-day vacation. It's a lot of money. So I highly recommend plan a little bit different route. You can save some money in different places. And we're going to talk about some of those further down here in the list. So number 1, skip the dining plan.
Number 2, eat breakfast before you go to the parks. Go to the grocery, go to the little store in your hotel. They have cereal and donuts and toaster pastries and oatmeal and fruit. I think they even have fruit at some of the places.
Yogurts, all kind of stuff.
That you can pick up and just eat in your room or go to a grocery store. You can have groceries delivered to the hotel. You will save a lot of money doing this.
Absolutely. And not only that, it saves you time. So a lot of people, we're not saying don't ever eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Like there are times where you might want to do
Yeah.
Chef Mickey breakfast, or maybe you just want to sleep in and grab breakfast at the hotel. But for the most part, the best way to do it is to just grab some of those easy foods from most of the hotels have a store that you can buy things like donuts and cereals and things like that. Just grab them. We used to just grab a few of those on the way out the door, on the way to the bus, and eat those little breakfast items on our way to the bus, on the way to the parks. You will save so much money. For a family of 4, if you think about it, for a family of 4, let's do the math. Family of 4 for a week-long stay, you're talking maybe $30 to $75 for these food items that'll last you the whole week, that you can just sort of share and eat. Sometimes you may not even eat breakfast too much because you're like, oh, maybe I'll grab a toaster pastry, and you may eat it, you may not. But we're talking $30 to $75 for the whole week total. If you think about eating at the actual hotel in the quick service area, a lot of the places have like a little cafeteria. You're looking at least $200 to $350 in food costs for that week for breakfast alone. Some places, if you use Chef Mickey, for example, you're looking at probably $150 or more just for one meal, right? So you can save a lot of money. Think about that, $200 to $350, maybe another, $150 plus for one, Chef Mickey type meal versus $50 to $75 for the whole week. You can save a lot of money by just grabbing breakfast items and not worrying so much about that being one of your planned meals.
And the food courts all have microwaves and toaster ovens. So if you buy your own bagels, which we have in the past, in your room, most of the rooms, almost all the rooms, have little refrigerators in them. You can put like butter, cream cheese, whatever
Milk.
you want.
Yep.
In the refrigerator, and you can just take your stuff down to the food court and use the toaster oven or the microwave if you need to.
Yep. The next one on our list might be a little bit controversial, but it is get the kids' meals for adults. Don't overlook those. It's not really necessarily against Disney policy for anybody to order kids' meals, especially when you think about mobile ordering nowadays. I mean, you're not even sitting down at a restaurant and then saying, hey, I want to order off the kids' menu. It's really just looking what's on the menu, and kids' meals can be 25 to like 40% cheaper, and the portion sizes are huge in many cases.
Yeah.
So on occasion, we would just get a kids' meal and even share that because we just don't tend to eat large meals throughout the day. And the portion sizes are pretty big. Like some of them, you can get like a hamburger and fries and then like another side like oranges and a drink. And it's like super cheap comparatively. It's not really because we're necessarily trying to save money, but it's just more, we don't want to waste money by buying too much food that we're just going to throw away. So if it works for you, there are a lot of kids' meal options that even adults can take part in. This works better with quick service, I think, more. So if you sit down at a really nice table restaurant, you can't order, like you can't say, hey, give me the kids' price for Chef Mickey. That's not going to work. That's not going to fly. But for quick service options, it works out really well. You can just sort of order the kids' stuff. And like I said, some of the kids' portion sizes are huge.
Number 4, never pay full price for a resort. Ever, ever, ever. There's always deals going on. If there's not this week, there will be next week. And call the resorts and ask about all the different discounts they have. They have annual pass. They have Disney Vacation Club. They have just like they'll have like a spring sale or a summer sale. And there's different sales, sometimes even at the same time. So if you qualify for more than one, just try to figure out which one is the best deal. Keep looking out for sales. Even after you have booked a reservation, you think you're all done and your reservation, you're set. Keep looking out for different deals because they can adjust the price if your room goes on sale for cheaper. I have gotten $700 back on my resort at one point because I just kept checking it like every day. So definitely keep checking back. Like
you said, they'll go on sale like the next week. The prices will change. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. But like if you're monitoring it, like even if you're looking for like I want to book something in July, and even that same week, all of a sudden a week later will be cheaper. So you just have to keep monitoring it. You can save a lot of money that way. Never pay full price for a resort. This next one is a huge one and can save you a ton of money, and that is don't overlook the value or moderate level resorts. I think a lot of people think they got to get deluxe. It's all about this luxe experience, and that anything below that is garbage or just not for them. And it's not true. Every resort in Disney is amazing. Like, and people think, oh, I'm going to get a resort outside of Disney and save some money. Don't do that. Get a resort in Disney and save some money. You can get some really good deals and low prices on a room by room, night by night basis, even inside Disney World. And the perks that you get by staying in a Disney resort are way more than what you would actually get staying off. I'm not saying there aren't some amazing off-site properties and houses and things. Everybody's different. Everybody has different needs. But if you're thinking about staying on property, don't overlook the value in moderate resorts. Just how much money can you save? Let's just do a little bit of math. On average, the value resorts, about $150 a night. They're going to vary, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's $200, sometimes it's $100, depends. But let's just say $150 per night on average for deluxe, or for value resorts. Moderate resorts, about $275 a night. Deluxe resorts are going to be anywhere between $400 and $500. There are some $1,500 night ones, which we'll never stay at, but they do exist. So if you math that out, you're looking at $1,050, and this is before taxes. And taxes even take this higher because the more you pay, the more tax you pay. But before taxes, you're looking at $1,050 for a value resort, $1,925 for a moderate resort, and $3,500 for a deluxe resort for a week. Family of four, right? That's a lot of money. That's basically almost times 2 and times 3. So like value resort times 2 cost, moderate resort. Times 3 cost, deluxe resort. Almost a 1-for-1 comparison.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more money.
A lot.
Now let's break down, but yeah, you can say, well, but you get so much for the deluxe resort. Do you? Let's do a little bit more math. Let's talk about the square footage of the rooms. 260 square feet on average, up to 300 square feet for a value resort. 260 square feet, up to 300. Moderate resorts are around 314 square feet. Deluxe resorts, 344 square feet. You get the math there? You see the numbers? They're very small. Those differences in square footage are tiny, and it's hard to even notice the difference, to be honest. Now, there are some suites and things you can buy that have much more square footage. Disney Vacation Club properties as well, but we're not talking that. We're talking standard rooms, because when you start going beyond standard rooms, you got to pay more and more and more and more. And let's just do a comparison. So I'm going to put up the floor plan for the average value resort. Right here on the screen, what you can see, 260 square feet. What does it get you? This is kind of the standard layout. It gets you sort of the 1 or 2 beds depending. You get the little bathroom space, maybe a little nook for like a table and some chairs. Now let me show you the deluxe standard sort of room layout. Some are different, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, this is it, the standard room. What do you got? You got a bed or 2. You got a nice little bathroom area, and then you got maybe a little nook where you got a couch or some chairs and a table. Looks pretty similar, doesn't it? I mean, there's a little bit extra space, but
yeah,
it's sort of similar, and it's not that different. So when you're talking about money-wise for a room, value and moderate are just going to be a better deal. Now let's talk quickly about the amenities that you get. Because you may say, yeah, but it's about the amenities. Okay, is it? What amenities do you get with value resorts and moderate resorts and deluxe resorts? For all those resorts, you get things like awesome pools. Some of them have slides, some of them don't. You get quick service restaurants and cafeterias. You get sit-down restaurants in many of them. Not all of them, but many of them have their own sit-down restaurants. Not to mention the fact that you can take a bus to any resort that you want to go to a restaurant. You get the same travel, the same amenities when it comes to buses. Some of them have boats, some of them have monorail access, some of them have Skyliner access. Those are nice, but is it worth the money? You have to kind of decide that for yourself. I personally don't think it is, but other people might vary because don't get me wrong, the Skyliner is awesome. You can get to a lot of places on the Skyliner. The monorail is great for that loop, but when I think about the money, I don't know that it's worth it because the buses take you everywhere. And then the last thing, fireworks viewing. There are a few hotels that get pretty decent fireworks viewing, and they even give you the music will play and has nice little space. But again, how many times are you going to sit down and watch the fireworks from your hotel instead of from the park? Is it worth it? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Again, some of the physical locations will vary. Some will be closer to some parks versus other parks. Some of them have cool things like the Boardwalk and Yacht and Beach Club. They have the nice little boardwalk, but again, you can take a bus there. You can't just walk outside and go to the boardwalk, but you can take a bus there. So, again, I would just kind of weigh the pros and the cons. And to me, it really comes down to the room because the amenities aren't that different. And I think that for me, paying the extra price for a very, very small increment in a room size and maybe a little bit more amenities, it's going to be up to each person. So I'd say don't overlook the value or the moderate resorts and just go with deluxe because you think you need to. There are a lot of great options, and we've stayed at all these hotels, value, moderate, and deluxe. And I mean, we have our favorites, some of them theming wise, right? But they all have great themes. So that's just another tip to save some money.
Also, skip the memory maker. If you're not staying for an extended amount of time, you don't really need it. We all have phones that have great cameras on them these days. Not all of us, but a lot of us. So you don't really need it. And actually, we've had it in the past because I think it came with our pass one year. They don't come with the passes anymore. But they're extra.
It's extra now.
Yeah. And all your pictures end up looking the same.
Yeah, and they're not the most quality pictures, honestly.
They're cute, don't get me wrong, and I love them, but they tend to start looking all the same, all the pictures.
Yeah. But, I mean, and the cost-wise, so it's $169 to buy the memory maker if you buy it ahead of time. It's $199 if you buy it once you're there in the parks and the hotel or whatnot, depending on where you get it. And I just don't feel like it's worth the money. I mean, it's not like a huge expense, but it's still, every little bit counts. And $169 to $200, depending on when you buy it, is another expense. And I just don't think it's necessary. One of the good things about Memory Maker is it can help you find good photo opportunities because there are camera people standing around the parks. And it kind of like, oh, that's a good photo opportunity. But all you got to do is see that and take a picture with your phone. And you can stand really, you can kind of stand in the same spot as where the photo opportunities are. If you want to know, plus, you can watch our videos to find out where some amazing photo opportunities. I'll link to them below. We've done a lot of different episodes about where are the best places to take photos with even sample photos in the parks in those videos. So I'll link to them below. Check them out if you're interested in like, where do I get great photo opportunities? Where can I do that? So I just don't think it's not worth the expense. This next one is a big one, and it is going to probably send some people over the edge. And I don't know. People have a lot of strong feelings about this, but I will tell you a fantastic money saving tip is just wake up early. Get up early. Why does that matter? It matters because it helps you not have to buy the Genie Plus or the Lightning Lanes. It helps keep you from having to wait in long lines. And so a lot of people want to they think they're getting up early because they wake up at 9. By the time you get to the park, it's 10.
You've missed it.
Maybe 10:30. Guess what? It's the middle of the day at that point, and everybody else is also in the park. And so you're like, the lines are so long right now. Well, yeah, they're long because everyone's here right now. Get up early. Take advantage of that extra magic hours. Well, it's a half an hour, but the early entry right now that's going on in any of the parks, you get in for a half an hour early right now. Sometimes it's an hour early, depending on the time of year and what they have. Take advantage. Just get up early. The right way to do it is to get up early, take a nap in the middle of the day, or chill and stay out late. And then do it all over again. But get up early. Wake up early. Get to the park before it opens. And when I say early, I mean you should be waiting for the bus an hour before the park opens for early entry. So if it opens at 8:30, you need to be waiting for the bus at 7:30. Because if anything after that, you're not really rope dropping, folks. People think they're rope dropping because they're like, well, I got to the park at 8:30. No. It opens up earlier most of the time.
You're already late.
They drop the rope basically sometimes at like 8, 7:45. So you think you made it for rope drop and you weren't even close. So get there an hour before the actual opening time at least. And it will save you so much time. You will not need to get the Genie Plus or Lightning Passes, I promise you. We have ridden everything in all of the parks as many times as we want with little to no wait times. And if you follow this practice and get up early, the wait times will be great. You'll go straight to the most in-demand ride that you think is going to be there, whether that's Rock and Roller Coaster or Mickey's Runaway Railway or Space Mountain, whatever you think it is, go straight there. then kind of have a methodical process for hitting the next few rides that you know are going to be crowded and busy, you'll get all the big ones done in the first hour or two of the day, and then you can kind of just chill and relax and hit the rest, and then come back later and do whatever you didn't get done. This will save you a ton of money. People think they have to get Genie Plus because that's the only way they can get things done, but it's not necessary. I'm not saying Genie Plus is bad for everybody, or Lightning Passes. If that's your thing, go for it. But again, if you want to save money, it's not necessary. You do not, no matter how crowded it is. We've been there Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, anytime you can imagine. And we've done everything we want to do. Don't have to wait for pretty much anything more than 30 minutes. We don't usually wait in lines more than 30 minutes. Let's do a little bit of the math. How much money are we going to save if we don't get the Genie Plus or Lightning Passes? Let's talk about it. Genie Plus right now, $15 per person per day. For a family of 4, for a 7-day vacation, that's $400 you're spending for Genie Plus. And that doesn't even grant you access to some of the most popular rides. In order to actually get those, you have to buy the Lightning Passes for those. Let's think about how much this Lightning Pass going to cost you. Let's say you want to hit the 1 or 2 biggest rides. Let's say 2 big ride Lightning Passes per day. So $10 on average per Lightning Pass. Some of them are $15, some of them are $7. Let's just say $10 per ride. If you do 2 Lightning Passes a day per person, you're talking $560 for the week. So now we're almost at $1,000 for Genie Plus and Lightning Passes that you're spending. You can save $1,000 by just waking up early.
Yeah.
I promise you this. I am not steering you wrong here. So that is a huge, but again, I know it's going to be controversial. Some people love Genie Plus, some people hate it. I'm saying it doesn't matter if you love it or hate it. You have an option. You can save $1,000 by just waking up early.
Another thing, drink the free water at the parks. You do not have to buy the bottled water. I actually prefer the free water because it has ice in it. I like ice water, and I like to eat the ice. I think the ice at Disney is good. So, and you get the bottled water. It's usually like lukewarm, even if it's in the refrigerator. I feel like it's not that cold. Mm-hmm. So definitely and you can get as many as you want throughout, and they have them pretty much anywhere. So.
And if you're interested in saving the planet, bottles aren't that great anyway.
Yeah.
So, but the little paper cup, you can get it most places. And it's free. And you can get it as much as you want. We will go up there and be like, can I have 8 ice waters for 3 people? Because I'm like, I want like 8. And they're like, here you go. And they just hand them over. You don't need a water bottle. You don't need to pack a water bottle and carry it around the parks all day with you. Just get the free water. It's available anywhere, anytime. So, I mean, if you want to, I'm not saying if you want to bring a, reusable water bottle, all the more power to you, but you don't need it. Free water is available everywhere throughout the parks at all times, and you can get as much as you want. It saves you a ton of money on sodas and bottled waters. Drink the free water.
Another tip is do not overlook the annual pass.
The annual pass can save you a lot of money. Now, annual passes are not always on sale. Sometimes they've been taking annual passes away and you can't buy them, but I promise you, when they are in effect, they can save you a lot of money if you're planning on visiting Disney more than once in a year's time, or more than maybe say 10 to 14 days in the parks. You can save a lot of money by buying the annual pass. Plus the annual pass benefits, you get discounts with the annual pass. 10 to 20% on merchandise and foods. You can get annual pass discounts on hotel stays, things like that. So it's not even just saving the money on the tickets, it's saving money the whole time you're in the parks, and the whole time you're thinking about planning your vacation. You could save a bunch of money. Let's do a little bit of the math breakdown here. $750 on average for a 7-day pass. If you're just buying a 7-day pass for one person, $750, okay? Versus the annual pass, which can be between $500 and $1,300 depending on the level of annual pass. Now, annual passes, depending on the level, do have blockout dates. So you're going to want to make sure that if you're planning on coming during the annual pass, with your annual pass and which level you have, that it works for you. But you can save a decent amount of money by getting the lower level passes. But sometimes you may need to get the bigger pass. But either way, $750 for a 7-day pass versus $500 to $1,300 for the annual pass. You can save some good money through that. Yeah. Again, plus you add up all the discounts. And that can make a big difference. The last item on our list is buy more days, but skip the park hopper. The way Disney works, you save much more money by buying more days than only buying a couple of days. Let's break down the math, and you'll hear about why I say skip the park hopper. On average, you're looking for a one-day pass, a one-day ticket to Disney. You're looking at $109 to $159 depending on peak seasons. $109 to $159. For a 10-day pass, you're looking at $55 to $71 per day. So you save a lot of money by getting the longer passes. But don't do Park Hopper, because Park Hopper, while nice, how many times are you really going to jump between parks? It's just easier to kind of do one park per day. Yeah. If you're a professional Disneyer, maybe you can do a lot of the park hopping and you're good to go, but why not get more days? We would end up buying more days and not even using them all just because it's cheaper than buying less days and trying to cram them all in with park hoppers. So it would actually be cheaper even though we burn a few days, we won't even use them at the end of the day. So we're looking at $109 to $159 for a one-day ticket. But when you add the Park Hopper, it jumps to $174 to $224 per person per day. That's a lot of money. That's $260 more for a family of 4 per day. $260 more per day, per ticket per day. So that's a lot. You can save a ton of money by just not getting the Park Hopper. More days, less, like get rid of the Park Hopper. If you want to add the Park Hopper, great, all the more power to you. But if you're looking at ways to save money, skip the Park Hopper. I would much rather add the Water Park and More option because that gives you additional parks to go to, like Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard Beach, etc. And you can use that for other things and more things to do. Park Hopper, not one of them. The other great thing about the Water Park and More is that you might leave Magic Kingdom and be tired and say, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's go to Typhoon Lagoon and just lounge around at the pool all day.
Yeah.
And then we'll go back to Magic Kingdom later that night. That's a much more effective use of your time than trying to go Magic Kingdom, over to Epcot or Animal Kingdom and back, and it's just too much and it's very stressful. So I would say buy more days, skip the Park Hopper. There you have it. That's our top 10 list, our top 10 money-saving tips for Disney, planning Disney vacations, hanging out at Disney, the ways that you can save some money. Again, not all these tips will be for everybody, but if you do not have to spend an arm and a leg to come to a Disney vacation. You can do Disney much more cost effectively. And don't get me wrong, you may miss out on some things. But if you have not been to Disney, or this is maybe your first, second, third, or fourth visit, you don't need to do everything. Save it for the next trip, right? And save a little bit of money so you can come more often instead of trying to spend so much money and only come once. Because a lot of people try to save money to do everything and then end up not even ever going because they can't hit that threshold of money. Save some money, follow these tips. Again, thanks for joining us. We hope you found this video informative, and if you have any comments or tips that you feel like we've missed, or things that you agree with or disagree with, or other things we can add, let us know. We'd love to chat about them. Thanks for joining us. Until tomorrow, the Noble Way
is the easy way.
Bye-bye, everybody.